Hey friends, welcome back. This is the intermediate chess speedrun. We're currently rated 558 elo in rapid chess on chess.com, and we're jumping straight into a game. We get the white pieces, and yeah, let's continue with our London system. One did d4. Let's see what our opponent does. They played d5. Amazing. Obviously, we could play the Queen's Gambit, but I want to show you guys how to play the London. It's a nice opening for beginner chess because all the pieces go to the same squares pretty much every time. Obviously, at the high level, it depends what your opponent does, and there are critical ways to play. Okay, they play an early bishop f5. Interesting. So they're basically like Londoning our London. This is okay for the minute. I think we're just going to play e3. Now, if they play e6, I'm thinking about this move c4. They played knight c6. I guess I'm going to try and come here. We could go knight to d2. They play knight b4. Or we could just play a bishop here. What happens if we play c4? Knight b5. We check. And the knight would have to go back. Yeah, I think we can play c4, you know? Knight b4, queen f4 check. The knight has to go back. We can then play bishop, or we can take first. Interesting position. Let's see. If they take on c4, obviously we're happy to take back with the bishop. Yeah, they take on c4. We play bishop takes c4. Now they might play knight b4. But I think queen f4 in that position is good. The knight is under attack on this square, so we'd have to go back. And we can start piling up pressure maybe with like bishop b5. Interesting position. They bring the bishop back. Is that not a fork? I think that's a fork. Take, yeah. Push. Right here. We take. They take the queen. We take. Yeah, this is just a fork, I think. Knight a5. We can. So if we push, let's say the knight jumps out the way, we can check. Is this a fork? Or we could just take the bishop. Push, knight here, queen a4. Trying to work this out, my brain is not working. Here, knight here. Check. c6. We take the bishop. I think we can do this. Mule Team 6, our opponent from America. Mule Team, interesting. I know the A team, I don't know the Mule Team. Maybe it's some new group they're starting. Yeah, it's interesting this position because obviously they can jump out the way with the knight and attack the bishop, which is loose. Obviously, if we take their bishop, they can take ours. We trade queens and we're seeking material, but I think the critical move after knight h5 will be to throw in this check with the queen. We check and the knight will be under attack. So the opponent can play c6, which would defend the knight and block the check, but then we can just take the bishop. And if they take our bishop, we take, and I think we're happy in that position, so we'll be a piece up. Let's see. Bishop on f4 is looking nice. Our priority is just to get the knight out after we, I think, win material, which is probably what's going to happen. Yeah, they play knight b4, but this just hangs a bishop. right? I mean, we could even go here. Which one's better, I suppose? Queen a4, the knight's under attack. We can't go back because we take it. Oh, but if we take it, then they take our bishop. So let's just take their bishop. We trade queens. The knight can't come in. The rook's going to come here soon. So we can take a free pawn. Then they'll check us. This knight is kind of annoying. So how about we kick the knight? Suddenly it's not so simple. What if we play knight a3? Then there's never knight c2. Rook d8, I think we can just play king e2. Yeah, like this. Rook d8 check. We play king e2. Yeah. I think we just go here, right? Yep. The pawn on e6 is under attack. This pawn's under attack. Although we can't really take it, I don't think. Or maybe we can. Interesting. I just want to go here, trade the rook, be up a piece, win the game. Chess is a lot easier to win when you're up material, which we are. We're up a bishop. And they bring the knight back, targeting our bishop. We could probably just take it, to be fair, but we don't have to. How about we take... I mean, we're up a piece, you know? So how about we just get our knight out. If they take the bishop, we'll take back. Yes, our pawns are doubled, the king is in the middle, but there's no way of really exploiting it because these double pawns on the e-file are really bad. The bishop is going to take some time to get out. The knight will come out, but can't really pose a threat. Sure. I mean, I guess we just bring a rook to the center, right? Yeah. Let's go here. So obviously, like the C and the D file open. So I'm thinking we just put one rook on the D file and one on the C file. This isn't a blunder, I don't think. They take our bishop, we take back. Yeah, I think this is fine. Obviously, if this trade happens, we're happy to take back with the pawn. The pawn on e6 will still be under attack. The rooks will be seeing each other. This bishop is really sad. So yeah, white is definitely better because we're up 2 points of material. We're up a bishop for a pawn. Yeah, so they're trying to get their pieces out, attack our pieces. I think, what can we do? How about we just bring the bishop back and say you can't you can't take our bishop anymore. They might go g5, trying to bring the bishop here. I'm thinking we jump in with a knight into the middle. Maybe get to g6, and that is just a free pawn. And like I said, I just want to go to g6, trade off some more pieces. You know, if we go to g6 with the knight, then we get the rook and the bishop. The rook is worth more, so we'll have to move. And then we can either take the bishop or not take the bishop. And interesting. How about we do that plan? Jump in with the knight. I kind of just want to get more pieces off, because if we get more pieces off, the game will suddenly become a lot easier to win. The opponent has no checks. The opponent could take on a3, but with the bishop, I don't think it's very good. Oh, actually, I saw a tactic which I missed. In that position, if they took our knight, we took back, they had a check on our king, because this b pawn will no longer protect the square. we have to come back and they would take. So suddenly we'd have 2 pieces for a rook, which isn't as good, but obviously they didn't see that, so that's, I guess, a good thing, which I take. And now I think we're just going to start taking some pieces. So we don't have to take pieces. How about we double on the d-file? Yeah, I think this is fine. I guess knight here would happen. How about we just take the knight? Make it simple. Get rid of small pieces. Yeah, okay. I guess this is their plan. But f2 is defended, so I think I'm just going to come back with the knight. Let's double. Maybe let's not double. Yeah, let's bring the knight back. Maybe go to d4. If they play knight here, then it doesn't really do anything. Where they can take the bishop, sure, but we're still up. You know, we're still up a piece. Yeah. This is a check. This is guarded, which is important by the bishop. Let's put a rook on c1 maybe, or a knight here. Yeah, let's just go knight here. If they kick us, then we can come back and go to the center. If they take our bishop, I'm more than happy just to trade. Again, we are just up a knight. Well, at the moment we're just up a bishop. If they exchange, we'll be up the knight. So yeah, they take, and taking is not good for him because our opponent is down material. Obviously, like, our knight is just standing strong in the middle now. So yeah, they play g5, but this is a fork, fortunately, and yeah, more material will be lost for our opponent. How did I see that? Well, in chess there's this thing called the checklist. This is what you can use to help you find good moves or find forcing moves. I saw that, sure, you know, I could bring a rook in. Okay, and they sacrificed a rook, and I mouse slipped. I was meant to just move. Wow. I was meant to take. I put my hand on the mouse and it clicked by accident and dragged down. But they actually just still hang the rook, so we're just going to take it. Yeah, back to the checklist. The checklist is a way to scan for forcing moves. So the top of the list is checks, because checks are the most forcing moves. Then captures, because if you capture a piece, then you kind of force your opponent to do something about it. And then the last one is threats. Can you make any threats in the position? And I saw that I couldn't take it in this position. I couldn't check the king. I couldn't take anything, but I could attack both rooks at the same time. Then this was just a mouse slip. They still hung their rook. And now we're just up a rook. So yeah, we've been taking d5. They play rook f6 check. We can just sidestep. Yes, they control the f file, but we're going to put 2 rooks on the d file and slowly hunt the king. Do we have anything else? No, really. So let's just put 2 rooks here, start checking the king, win some pawns, convert the game. And yeah, I think my plan is now just going to be go to the 7th rank, which is a really good place to be. If you can get rooks to the 7th rank in a chess game, in the endgame, you're doing really well, because the pawns sit here and there's usually pawns to pick off. So now this is almost checkmate, not quite, but this will force a trade of rooks. Yes, I could have taken a pawn, but this simplifies even further. The king has to move, and yeah, we're just going to take a pawn, and now this is just clean up. The rook is very powerful. Rook b5 is a double attack, can't save both pawns. We're going to take, and take again. And now the easiest way to convert this is make sure the king is safe. So yeah, they're trying to like create some passed pawn, but it doesn't work because the king is so safe. The best way to do this is cut the king off, put the rook on a square that is defended by a pawn like this. And now we're just gonna march this pawn up the board. Be careful about any tricks. Obviously we're gonna have to take this, and we just push. Notice how the rook creates a box for the king, and the king can never take the rook. If this pawn wasn't here, I'd have to move the rook or defend it. But this just lets me push. The pawn is defending the rook. Be careful with that stalemate. They have one legal move, and obviously the king is still inside this box. Now they have no legal pawn moves, so we do have to be careful and make sure. Obviously, if the king was like cut off right in the corner of the board and had not many legal moves, we have to be careful about stalemate. But yeah, this is fine because we can just make a queen, and yeah, the king is still inside this box. And now it's simple. Just gonna check. King goes here. Let's check. And there'll be a checkmate somewhere. Check. Here. And let's go just here. Here. Check. King goes back. Checkmate. Check. And queen g7, it's checkmate. Awesome. Slightly tricky. We played a London, and our opponent put up some resilience, but we saw through all the ghosts, all the pretend threats. So we'll do a quick analysis. 1 d4, d5, we played bishop f4, they London, our London, we played e3, knight c6, and yeah, let's see, I'm going to put the engine on. Yeah, c4 is the best move, and I knew to do this because of two things. In the London for black, the most critical move to play is the move c5. Not so much after they play bishop f4, but usually if they play, let's say, knight here, we play e3 and they play c5. This is a critical way to play because the tactical disadvantage of bringing this bishop out so early is that this side of the board becomes weaker for white. And by playing c5, you counter-strike the center. Let's say I just played c3, and now queen b6 is a nice move, putting pressure on the b2 pawn and on the center. So this is a critical way to play, but our opponent played the London against our London, which is another way to play. But I knew that another reason why I played c4, not even just because of knight c6, is because when their bishop leaves early, we can play c4 and bring our queen out to basically do the same thing to them. If they hadn't taken and played e6, we can either take or go like queen b3 or something and start pressuring the side of the board. Not in this position maybe because of knight b4 apparently. Yeah, knight b4 in this position would actually create like a pretty nasty threat, so we'd have to be careful. But we took out the bishop, and I was thinking about knight b4 here, but I don't think it works because of, yeah, queen a4, the knight has to go back, and yeah, d5 basically attacks the pin piece, and yeah, defended by the bishop, and we would win the piece anyway. So I knew that I had some feeling that I didn't see d5 straight away, but I had some feeling that knight b4 just wouldn't work tactically. They took on c4, we took back with the bishop, and they played bishop e6, and yeah, d5 was just a nice spot. Obviously we could take, they take, we have a better position with plus 2.7 in this position, mostly because of these double pawns. If you did this, it would still be okay, but obviously when you have a way to win material, you should go for it. We played d5, which is just a fork. And now I was concerned about this move knight a4 because it hits our bishop. If we take, they take. Well, I think what they would do is probably trade first, and then take. And we'll take on f7, they'll take back. And white's still better, but yeah, it was a way for black to potentially equalise on material. So, but what I did see is that after knight to a4, we have again this idea, queen a4. This time they can actually play c6, which defends the knight and blocks the check. But here we just take the bishop, so we'd still win a piece. They played knight b4, and yeah, just hangs the bishop. So we just take it. We trade queens. It's a little bit tricky because obviously this knight is looking a bit scary. The rook's going to d8, and computer wanted some just knight f3. And we're saying that after rook d8, you can just go to e2. I think. Obviously, the knight can come into c2, which I didn't really like. Because obviously you just now black is winning an exchange, getting a rook for the knight. So obviously the knight will be trapped, but I didn't see why we had to sort of go into this. Play d5, yep, take, and this is why I played knight a3 to stop any knight c2. Rook d8 I saw coming. Obviously we can't go to c2 because of the knight here. c1 is just not amazing. And king e2 is much better because it now makes ways for us to bring our rook, bring the knight in, bring the other rook. They play knight to d5. We could have taken it, simplified. We played knight f3, which is a fine move. They played knight f6, and computer wants some knight g5, going straight for this weakness. Obviously the king can't come to here to defend it, and there's not another piece that can really defend this pawn, which is interesting. If the king goes to c7, then I guess, yeah, you just bring a rook to d1. So, yeah, knight g5 would have been nice, but we just brought our rooks to the middle. h6 obviously prepares some g5. We slide the bishop back because we say we don't want it to be taken anymore. We want to keep the pieces on, or just keep the bishop on. e5 is a nice idea because it's trying to basically get rid of some more pawns to activate the pieces, but at the end of the day, it's just a free pawn, so we just took it. And yeah, knight g6 was okay, but I did then see that obviously if we do this and we take back, then there's some fork here, which is not amazing because then we have to come back. They take, we take, and they would have to maybe take again, and move. And we'd still be up two pieces. Oh no, we don't have a rook. So it would be two pieces for a rook, which is just a bit more complicated to win. So I didn't see bishop a3 straight away. It would have been nice if our opponent played that. But I think if bishop a3, we just would have taken, yeah, maybe on d5 just to stop this fork happening. So we'd take, knight would take, and computer wants some bishop e5 or e4 just to stop this, create more threats. The rook is still under attack in the corner, so wouldn't be a great position. I'm sure we would have worked our way out of the mess. But our opponent didn't do that, just moved the rook, so we took the bishop, took back. And now I think it was just easiest just to start taking some pieces. I want to bring the knight back. It was important to see that obviously the knight is now hitting the bishop, but if the knight takes our bishop, which is what it did at the end, or I think on the next move, yeah, we just take back. It was important to see though that the rook and the knight were both seeing f2. Obviously, if this bishop was maybe somewhere over here, then it could be a little bit scary and black gets some counterplay. But I just wanted to bring the knights in the middle. They took, and yeah, this was just a fork, just seeing this. And obviously, this was where the mouse step happened. Obviously, this is just a sacrifice of a rook. Makes sense because you're gonna. I mean, it doesn't really make sense actually because you could just move one, take. I guess you just still have only one rook. So they sacrificed their rook. What I was meant to do was obviously just take the rook, but because of the mouse slip, I played king e1. They didn't even hesitate and they just moved the rook, and we just took the other rook that was still hanging. They took a knight, but now we're just a rook up, and it's just clean up. We just go for the pawns, double the rooks, go for the pawns on the 7th rank. And yeah, this was nice because, I mean, either one of the rooks to d6 is nice because you just trade off the rook. And now we just have a rook, and this is simple. Go for the pawns, this is easy to win. And like I said, the best technique to win in the endgame is put the rook on a square which in the future can be defended by a pawn, because now the king is in a box and is restricted to essentially these squares, like this. And now our plan is just to push the pawns to make another queen. We have to be a bit careful because obviously if we don't do anything about this and we push, they can play h3, and if we don't take, then we start to push, they push, we push. It's still mating for, it's still but much better for white, but we give black a queen and it's just unnecessary. With queen and we're still up a rook, sure, so we'd still be winning. But there's no need to go into those complications. The easiest thing was to do after h4 was just to take, and we push. Be careful not to stalemate, but the king has a lot of squares, so we never have to worry. Yeah, queen e5 was a faster checkmate here. I probably prolonged it a bit too much. Rook g5 was faster. Queen f7 was faster. Okay, and this is just basically putting the king in a box and checking until checkmate, which is what we did. And we won the game, and now we're 576 elo. Amazing. So we're slowly working our way up. This was another nice clean game. Hopefully, next game we'll get a game with black. Keep mixing it up. Maybe I'll introduce some new openings soon. But I think for now, it's important to teach you guys, keep teaching you the basics of the London system because, like I said, the London is a really good opening to learn at beginner level. So, yeah, that's it for now. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow.